I've seen what I've seen, and that's all there is to it, really. I mean, maybe some of the things on there, you know, that they're either so long ago that it doesn't count. I mean, you get sex offenders working in schools these days. Anything's possible.
Because they don't have an enhanced disclosure. It hasn't been properly checked. But trust me when I tell you, this is the new system with the enhanced disclosure. Very slow to people in Liverpool, and we have had cases of cab drivers to wait too long on the renewals, being told they couldn't go to work until they had it. It's been a problem. Looking okay now. It's happening in a lot of these schools and institutions. They're not checking them. Again, the public carriage office in London, probably the same with all the councils, probably Amersham taxis are the same. We'll check on every application TLB, and if you do something during that 3 years, automatically notify them. So, be very careful there. But in any case, as for Kipper, I know he had some calls. Thought he ended up, he took that portable, didn't he, years ago? Got a judgment against him. If I remember rightly, wasn't it Wandsworth Court? Someone will come on here and tell me if I'm right. I think he went to Wandsworth County Court, and I think he won the day. I think he took this guy Porter to court. Someone will also remember his call sign. Porter got whacked heavily and never paid Gordon back. So again, you've got to be a bit careful, because some of us have been around a bit longer, and we actually were in court to watch these things happen from G3ZCC. And
if I can just take it without some chat, you're supposed to wait for the T to go before you jump in, as a matter of fact. That's proper operating procedure. Just check I've got it. Right, well, how old do you think I am, Michael? Do know G1ULG? Do know the entire scenario of what went on with Michael and all the rest of them down there, and it was a very similar situation to here. Well, it isn't really, but they're trying to make it. The same perpetrators, it's the same people behind it, more or less. The ULG came on, big, strong station. One liked the fact that he, you know, was quite clever and had a good station and could get out very well. And they started to, you know, try and ostracise him, on him. He's doing this, he's doing that, he retaliated, and so, well, it's exactly the same as the chimp face gang on here, but the difference is, the one's wise to the chimps. They're all known. Scott, Robin's been caught jamming and had to admit it on the radio. Scott's always jamming, messing about, never giving his call. The difference is really, I suppose, that the chimps have got no credibility. As I understand it, Gordon's been to court various occasions. That's why he's got the nickname Nodding Kipper, that he's spineless and kept nodding in court at the judge. I mean, this is what's said over the radio time and time again. And I don't know the outcome of the case. All I know is that the DTI turned SL off for about 6 months for a cooling off period as a result of all the hassle on there. And who really wants that? At the end of the day, it's a hobby, it's not a war zone. And as much as people may try and make it a war zone, it isn't. It's supposed to be an enjoyable hobby for everyone. You don't like someone, you don't want to get on with them, then just ignore them and go and talk to someone else. G7ERX.
ZCC. No, I agree with you. It is a hobby. But, you know, people don't like to be accused of doing stuff that they haven't. And you accused them, you told me.
Yeah, you've accused me and all. You accuse me every day.
You know, this M3 has either got to put up or shut up, quite honestly. I mean, you shouldn't be listening to hearsay. I shouldn't. Well, okay. Should you? No, you either come and sit outside my door and DF me for yourself, or get the guy to come up and say, I caught him, it was me, I sat outside his door, here's my evidence. There isn't any, because it wasn't me. You know, and lunchtime, I was sitting there watching the football, Sky. And get a phone call, he's at it again, he's accusing you of jamming AL. I didn't even have the equipment on. There you go. Sorry, that's all I'm going to say. I've said my bit. G3ZCC.
Yeah, and by the same token, Michael, you know, I get people ringing me up, texting me, emailing me, instant messaging me all day long about things you say on LW about me. Last night, for example, you and the chimp gang were out in full effect, Plex and here and there and everywhere. It was all recorded. You made a lot of malicious, addictive comments about me. I haven't reviewed the tape yet. It's a 40 it's a 40 meg file. About 7 o'clock yesterday, right round to 2-3 o'clock early hours in the morning, but I will review it. I've done the other ones and record it, and, you know, at the end of the day, all this animosity is all come from Scott and Robin, and they're trying to get as many people on their case as side as they can. I mean, they had Mark and John recently that were, you know, they've had enough and gone off, what it's worth. And they're just trying to recruit more and more people. But the same goes, Michael, you know, what goes around comes around. If you don't want to have the finger pointed at you, then don't jam on the repeater, simple as that. And people won't be able to DF you. You know, I do believe this M3 guy, I do believe he DF'd you to your door, because he's got no reason to, you know, I didn't even know you. He didn't know you are. The first time I've ever heard of you was when I didn't even know where you lived. Oh, we got the road you lived in, didn't know who you were. I didn't know you were G3 or anything about you. It wasn't until you revealed yourself subsequently, you know, you made it known that you were there. Otherwise, we still wouldn't know who you were.
Again, wasn't me.
Well, yeah, you say it wasn't.
It wasn't me. I mean, sometimes I'm listening and I sit here and I just listen to it. Other times I, you know, people ring me up. But not bottom line is, I don't want to be accused. I don't like having my stuff read out over here. There was no call to do that. If you had a gripe, me, you should have done the right thing, Alex. Read my name and address out over the air. You should have gone to Ofcom with it. The story. That's what they're there for. Go reading people's and addresses out over the air. Choice if they want to be particulars withheld. Day and age, I think everybody should be publicising where you are and you've got amateur radio kit, this, that and the other. I think you'd agree with that. You know, what you should have done, you'd have come round here and confronted me, or you should have done the right thing and gone to Ofcom and made a complaint. That would have been ever so simple. And then there wouldn't have been any animosity. It would have probably died down on here. Ofcom would have looked into it. Anyway, that's it. I'm going back to watching the football. G3Z6.
We're here, police officers, G7IS mobile.
I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, Michael, you know, I hear what you're saying, but you've got to realise that there are people around, like your mate Duncan, that you're all friendly with now, who've done exactly what you're telling me I shouldn't do. They've given out my partner's name and address. She's not even on the radio in Watford. They broadcast that, took great delight in doing it. Robin's done it, Kun's done it. Everyone's done it, yeah? That's what they do. And no doubt they'll find out my new name and address and they'll be giving that out as well next. You know, this is what they do. You've got to realise that all these people have got, I'm doing this, that and the other. They've all got the opportunity to go and complain to Ofcom. If someone did complain a couple of years ago and Ofcom came and saw me. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's quite simple. If you don't want any hassle, then don't give any out. Yeah? This is one lesson I've learned. And the reason I'm not going to sit here and kit, well, depends what it is, but most of it is because it is a load of old rubbish. It's not true. And as you say, you know, truthful things can be quite hurtful to some people. For me, you know, I've been on CB for 15 years before I came on ham radio. Well, the amount of threats and what wasn't going to happen to me on there couldn't make up. Ham radio is quite a breath of fresh air. I mean, at least the threats that you and people make are in reason. I mean, anyway. I'm not on here for I just want to come on here and chat to my mate Simon and a few other people without us being perpetually jammed, right? But for the last 2.5, 3 years, we've made it our business to find out who's jamming us and where they live. And it's been a very simple task. And we do know that these are the people that have been given a stick, and they've not really made any secret of it. I don't know, as I kept saying to Robbie, you know, you speak to Duncan, you speak to Robin, you speak to Scott, you say to them, right, exactly, I mean, Simon's done it. What's your problem exactly? Don't have an answer. Who was on the other day? What's your problem? Go for it, Robin. Vent your grief, I think. They don't have any problem. So, I don't know, they're either all suffering with some mental instability, or they generally don't have a problem and they just like the aggro, which I think is more the case. G7ERX.
I will say this to you just before I go from GC. I will tell you this. It's something perhaps shouldn't be putting over this repeater, but I'm going to say it anyway. G1UPU actually physically told every one of the users on LW to stop saying things about you and not make unnecessary comments. He's told all of us. So I wouldn't have a go at him because maybe he's on your side a little bit because he told everybody doing it. So there you go. I'll leave you with that thought. G3ZCC.
But, you know, fair enough, but he has. It was only last week he was accusing me of doing white powder and this and that, and doesn't mean anything, Michael, to me, I'm afraid. People want to come and speak to me and be sociable, and if they've got a problem, tell me what their problem is, and we can come to an amicable arrangement. That is not a problem. I've got no worries with that at all, but people don't. They just come on here, slag me off, point fingers, make accusations. It's not just, the thing is, it's not just me that people are doing it to. There are other people involved. You know, Simon being one of them, but there are other people that I'm thinking of, other people that are getting embroiled into this, and they don't want it either. You know, the fact they don't come on here and scream and shout and make themselves known, it doesn't mean to say that they're not pissed off about it and they're not sitting there scheming and trying to get you lot back or do things to. I mean, this is why this flow of information lately has been unbelievable. You know, realised so many people didn't like you, but there you go. At the end of the day, as I said, I'm not on here to win friends and influence people. I'm just coming on here to talk to people that want to be amicable and want to enjoy the hobby and speak to me, as I've done for since 1988 when I got my ham radio licence. And that's the way I intend for it to stay, G7ERX.
Anyway, that's it. 7 a bit. I'm off back to watch the football. GZTC, clear of GB3AR.
Alright, G7IVJ, 0CRK, G7ERX. Your ZCC, just before you go. Michael.
For chimpanzee on the 1-9. Bye-bye, look at the chimp. The chimp, are you out there? Time for a chimpanzee. Chimpanzee on the 1-9.